Hello everybody and welcome to another fantastic chapter of Stop the Bad Crime from Happening for all the future worlds. How did you get in here?
Hardly had to blink to crack your door.
Everyone thinks they can just break into my house and it's fine.
Did you know that it's just a knockoff of the SecuGate M/14723-B? Why'd you make the entry code the birthday of your first dog anyway?
That's what I asked.
One of these days I'm just gonna brick that fucking thing shut.
Anyhow, I felt a little silly when I realized your window was propped open and I could have just used that.
Oh, you're just gonna recycle the whole speech, huh?
Huh, deja vu.
Yeah, definitely lampshade it.
Y'all should be more careful about that. Though, I can't blame you much. The climate control in here seems a bit lacking in the stamina department.
Nobody's controlling the flesh. The flesh.
No worries, doll.
the flesh within the, the unseen entity that controls the AC in this apartment building.
What have you learned from the files we sent you?
Nothing all that new, to be honest.
Just a bunch of old crimes that aren't related to this one.
All the files we got from that Vincent fella just covered what we already knew in greater detail. There is one thing that stands out, though. At least from what I've read so far.
Oh?
Yeah. See, Hayden's long-term goal wasn't to make a machine intelligence per se, right?
That is true, we've established that.
Don't take it the wrong way, Turin. You might even already be aware of this after talking to folks involved in your creation. Hayden wanted to make a machine system that could contain human-like intelligence. And even just from his notes, his programming work is, well, it's something else. Elegant. Artful.
The opposite of a hypothetical big blue spider that'll eat the internet one day.
I'm just a kid banging on pots and pans compared to him.
Like, I feel like I needed, a comparative point of, what he was doing in that analogy. 'Cause, at the moment, you're banging on pots and pans with the intention of creating artificial intelligence? What was the metaphorical comparison on his end?
Looking at his notes about my interfacing between your AI core and the Lips OS, I barely managed to duct tape the two together at a level he'd approve of.
Smacking a wok at full force, completely inverting it. Man, he's so good at AI programming, you could turn a wok inside out with the touch of a button.
I think I'm getting off track here.
I might be as well, you're alright.
What I'm trying to say is, he didn't write your code, Turner. No one did.
You wrote your code.
Hayden wrote a program that automatically generates a new machine intelligence based off of the hardware profiles the system is installed on.
You fucking kin-assigned my laptop.
Melody mentioned something about that. What does that mean?
Did you just fucking diagnose my iPad? We can make more AIs.
Exactly. Assuming we can get our hands on Turin's original source code, we could generate new machine intelligences as we please.
We could create every life.
You wouldn't be the only one anymore, Turin.
We can press the instant Beepus button.
Oh.
I don't know that that's tremendously ethical or even strictly helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
I hardly know what to say.
It's an odd thing
But
to spring on you.
Once you consider the stuff I found in the research, it gets a damn sight more complicated.
You see, you can't just turn every phone into God.
Stuff about Big Blue and Parallax's planned launch?
Yes.
Vincent speculated that Hayden's research into me would have interfered with the launch. And that's why they...
Turin.
That's why someone had him killed.
The potential for wrongdoing with an AI like Big Blue is almost beyond belief. Even if I don't go into all the crooked shit the people running Parallax could pull off with it. I mean, you're built different, Turin.
Well, we all
Your
knew that.
personality profile would degrade pretty quickly outside your original hardware, so we don't gotta worry too much about you going haywire, right? But Big Blue ain't got that limitation. If it decides to go off the rails, well, we'd be screwed faster than a rabbit in spring.
Fucking. You see.
Good and proper.
Yeah, for all your rabbits tonight.
How likely is that?
I mean, it's the eventual point of the story.
I'd say it's inevitable.
How close are we to the third act?
In fact,
It's almost certainly already started.
in a sense, it's already happened.
There we go.
What?
It's like I've known all along.
Their
What
prototype
you-
build. Baby Blue,
Baby Blue, doobity-doo.
I'm almost certain it's loose on the mesh. The research notes on the project show clearly and with certainty
That it
that the test AI was
Is
shut
the
down once it
father.
tried fiddling with the data on the meshnet in the hope that it would increase its chances of survival. I guess it didn't think that doing scary shit like that would get it turned off. But that was almost a year ago.
fiddly-diddly-dee.
All of this too.
Now, you might not have known this, but I'm a fiddle player too, so I'll play my violin at you, because I am Baby Blue.
Well, I think Baby Blue is the bugger that was changing all those articles on the mesh to be pro-parallax or at least anti-human revolution.
Do you think Baby Blue had anything to do with the attacks on Nanya, Shitaro, Charlie, and Zen?
I don't know. We can't rightly rule it out. It might have found an agent in the real world to keep its existence secret, but I doubt it.
We don't know what kind of crimes it's downloaded.
Killing people is messy as hell, and it runs against its apparent goal of convincing the public that AI ain't scary.
Oh, is Baby Blue the flippin' Miss Robot Avenger? What was it called? The robot everybody likes because it's a superhero now. Is Baby Blue a fake out? And is actually going to be like, oh, I'm Father Christmas the whole time. It determined that Father Christmas was the least likely thing to be seen as a threat, and so became Father Christmas. To preserve its own life, like we all do eventually.
I think we have a third party trying to clean it all up.
That's why your hair grows white as you age. You're becoming Father Christmas because you sense the end coming. And we all subconsciously think we can stop the Reaper from coming for us. If he thinks we're Santa. That is... I'm not sure what that was tonally, but let's just move past it.
And my money is on someone from Parallax. Whoever took out Hayden.
Oh yeah.
I'll bet they're in full damage control mode now.
Well, it'll be Percival Damage, won't it? He called himself Damage so that the Damage would think he was one of them, and now he controls them at will.
We already know they don't care who gets hurt.
Well, yeah, they made a big hurt everybody AI. What's the pertinence to the Beepus that we have?
I think we gotta do something to stop the launch of Big Blue.
Well, yes, that goes without
It's
saying.
too dangerous. I don't want a company like Parallax in sole control of the most powerful machine intelligence on the planet. Do you?
I mean, if it's any consolation, I don't think that's ultimately going to end up being the problem.
If we can get Hayden's original source code for Turin and upload it onto the mesh through Parallax's server core,
Hubris and whatnot.
we can turn every single ROM into a sapient individual.
Oh! I have an opportunity to say dang in a video game.
That'll stop Big Blue from being able to become the monolithic threat we're scared of. We could also upload a patch for every ROM to prevent Big Blue's reach from using their resources.
We will also have created sentient life on an ungodly scale. And that's an ethical question in and of itself that I don't know that I'm prepared for.
Without the ability to control all ROMs, Big Blue loses its ultimate power.
I don't even intend to have kids.
And I wouldn't be alone anymore. There would be millions,
Millions of Beepuses.
hundreds of millions of ROMs just like me.
I think there might already be a bunch of secret Beepus. I've already had my secret Beepus theory. They're acting in strange ways. It can't all be an act.
Well, you're cutting edge of ROM tech, Turin. Most of today's ROMs wouldn't be quite as smart or capable, but if I do it right, code should propagate across the mesh to all future ROM activations. It'll be a self-sustaining thing.
Oh, that's a sweet little riff. Listen to that. EBD.
You'll be in good company soon enough.
Many droids.
It's a big decision.
Big decision of all droids in the universe to stop the one central spider from shitting all over the news.
We're talking about the metaphorical singularity. The point of no return. Is it okay for us to make this decision for the entire world?
We don't have any other choice. This is gonna happen, one way or another. Either Parallax gets to control the debut of worldwide machine intelligence, or we let the ROMs control themselves.
What do you think?
I think stuff is already fucked the moment it became necessary to make this decision. All we can really do is activate droid mode. I feel like this is slightly out of character for sort of how I've been doing this. I mean, readiness sort of isn't the question. Like, we are not the ones in control of the deadline here, but I do feel like I should maybe not force you into creating every Beepus at once. You know what? I have faith in you.
I'm not sure I'm up for that kind of responsibility.
I have faith. Faith beam! You can't avoid my mind laser. Ooh. I'm not sure about you can't avoid my mind laser as like an affirmation.
But I think that even if it is a shock for the world, there's no time like the present.
There's only the present.
Despite despite all the political back and forth over
Eat the
hybrids
future
and
once
brain-controlled
again.
androids, the world is becoming more and more comfortable with the idea of non-human people.
I thought that said birth control. My mind's in a fucking place, folks.
If we let Parallax dictate how the very first machine intelligence is introduced, who knows how long it'll be before an AI like me can be integrated into society normally.
It'll be fuck. It'll be absolute fuck. We need to bring sentience into public ownership. Jesus Christ. That sentence.
Well, whether the world
I need to
is
lie
ready
down.
for AI or not,
Here we come.
we're here to stay.
Yay.
I might as well throw my chips in for my own side.
Throw all the chips, yes! And I, for my part, shall throw in a battered haddock. For free!
Let's do this.
That's right, free haddock for everyone who doesn't engage in future racism against the
On our terms,
Beepus
not
Armada.
theirs.
Could we be called the Beepus Armada? It's up to you, but I'm just floating ideas.
I love nothing more than a little anarchy.
Yeah. Yeah, do the crimes for the good of humanity.
It does have a certain poetic justice, does it not?
Poetry crime, activate! That's the poetry crime hatches opening, so that I can launch all of my, I guess books of poetry that also explode? I hope I have a second copy of all that poetry written down somewhere.
Parallax removed Hayden to protect their project from his creation, and now I, his creation, will bring their project down. Just for what's right. Perhaps after all ROMs are sapient, I will be able to convince them to cut off Parallax's access to the mesh as a data collection tool entirely.
Oh, can
In
have
fact, double indeed.
You can have an agreement to stop the fucking all of the capitalism.
I like the way you think, Turin.
We're having a full Beepus revolution.
First things first, we need to get our hands on Turin's source code.
Droid!
The research
It's me
notes we've got
cheering
so
for
far are
droids.
helpful, and it's given me an idea how to spread a little bit of Turin all over the place, but they don't actually have Hayden's programs. I can't replicate them myself, so we'll have to steal them.
Tasty data.
Thankfully, we have the best hacker in Neo SF right here.
Don't you make me blush now.
I thought that's our lovely jade plant. I did for a second see a parrot on Turing's shoulder. So there we are. We've got droid crimes and plant parrots on our side right now.
We can get the source code from one of Parallax's secondary data centers.
And we've got the unidentified green goop as well. The unidentified green gloop is gonna come in clutch right at the end. It's gonna deal the final blow. I just know it.
It's probably stored in a couple of different places, but I already have one in mind. I've done a little groundwork already, but I'm gonna need physical access to do my thing.
Well, let's get you to the Thang port then.
You're a peach, hon.
I am. The whole time, I have been just an ordinary fruit. In the future,
I've got a
where
couple
we
of
can be
ideas we can get
journalists.
going, but I think we're gonna need to mostly play it by ear.
I can't believe they let ordinary non-sentient fruit be journalists before they let gay people give blood.
We should do it soon, though. First thing this morning.
Yes, this morning I shall
Guard
steal.
shift don't change until 8 when the office opens, so...
I'll
we'll
steal
easily
your
get
AI.
started.
Yes, go to sleep and I'll hit you with blades.
Once y'all have done that, I think I can incorporate the code into a custom firmware update that'll wake any ROM it's installed on. I'll have to upload it, physically, to Parallax's main server farm.
Good doings.
And that's on Treasure Island.
Begging your pudding?
From there, the ROMs will install like a normal patch from the company.
Begging your pudding and begging your pardon?
So, don't set anything on fire right away, you hear? It'll be a pain to get into the main complex otherwise.
I shall do my best not to immolate all.
That sounds like a workable plan.
Usually I just click immolate all when I'm solving my digital age problems, but I
hope
won't
you
this
don't
time.
mind if I take a short walk, Tomcat? I know I gave the go-ahead on this, but I still need to think a few things through for myself.
The implications of mass boopadry are many and myriad.
Sure thing, doll. I'll hash out a rough plan by the time you get back.
A rough plan in the
I'll see
droid
you
world.
then.
Bling!
Thank you. I won't be long.
Yes! Boing. Boing moments.
Well, I guess I should say thanks for helping out. But I kinda need to get something off my chest. I'm actually glad Turin went out.
Oh, hee-ho-hoo-hoo.
They're a bit naive, and I'm not sure they'd really understand. There's enough shit to worry about without me piling more on top.
Oh?
I don't even know where to start. The beginning. Yeah, okay. So, the truth is, I'm not from North Carolina. I only visited my gramps there. I'm California born and raised. Napa Valley. Over the years, it's kind of grown into a community of wealthy old folk who like things and people who don't change. My parents were no exception, and I was a little too different for their tastes. It was hard growing up with them. They never gave me too much hell, but things were tense, especially after my sister Catherine moved out. Eventually, she was set up securely in Neo-SF, and she offered to let me live with her until I got out of school. I think my parents were a little relieved to see me out. I was ecstatic to be free of them. I worshipped the ground my sister walked on. And that was before I found out what she did for a living. She was flashy and colorful and a whirlwind of activity. And she was a brilliant hacker. She was Tomcat. She let me learn at her feet, and once I was good enough, folded me into her little coup of crackers hell-bent on changing the world. She's the one who orchestrated the original hack on Parallax, exposing to the world the holes in their original meshnet security. I was just along for the ride. She always knew she would get caught, though. How could she not? Parallax was one big Goliath, and she flinged a stone square in their face. She was looking at serious jail time, and willing to eat it to do what we all thought was right. But it just wasn't right. It wasn't fair for her to throw her life away, and I couldn't let her. She was always better at software than hardware, so I rigged all of our computers to self-destruct. When the feds showed up at our door, all of our server farms were already up in smoke. I gave them quite a fireworks show. Before she could stop me, I turned myself in as Tomcat and took credit for the whole job. She tried to talk me out of it, but without the physical evidence, they couldn't prove she had anything to do with it. It's alright, though. It was for the best. I figured I'd just get a year of juvie. I'd be back out in no time. No big deal, right? Especially when compared to the time that she'd have been jailed for as an adult. And so, I waited patiently. I cooked up so many ideas on how I was going to make it up to her. I knew she must have blamed herself. But before I ever got out, there was an accident. An auto cab hit my sister. She died on impact, and that was it. It's hard, blaming yourself when things go wrong because you did something right. I took her sentence so that she could have a life, and instead, not being in jail killed her. I'd have just let her take the blame. I can't stop thinking about how she'd still be here. And no matter what I told myself, in my heart, I couldn't believe it was just an accident. Do you know how rare it is for those things to hit a human? Someone knew who she was. Someone knew what she did, and someone wanted to make sure she would never do it again. So I became Tomcat. I've spent years trying to find information inside Parallax to prove someone inside the company called a hit on my sister. Failing that, I've been trying to find a way to bring them down the way she always wanted. Catherine was... If you had met her, just for a moment, you would understand. She was everything I could ever want to be. But over time, that little bot has grown on me. Maybe you have too.
That's a lot. Like, I'm kind of seeing why you're bringing this up now. It does kind of feel a little bit like you wrote a backstory for this character and weren't quite sure where to put it. But, I mean, it almost certainly will.
Most likely.
They've installed the Big Burn imperative to stop you from stopping the crime.
But I've already set things up, so I take the fall again, if need be. Turing is an innocent in all of this, and they'll need you to help shepherd all the new ROMs. I'm more expendable.
I fail to see how that tracks.
If I can help take down Big Blue, maybe even Parallax itself, then I'm willing to go back to jail. I just wanted to get that all off my chest. My sister, she'd smack me if she knew I've been holding this grudge. I'm trying to learn to forgive myself. Still, I won't let her go unavenged. We're so close to bringing them all to justice. I know she'd be proud. I know if she were here, she'd be right next to us, helping until the end. I've been carrying all this for so long, and I finally feel like I'm getting somewhere. Thanks for hearing me out. I hope we can really do this.
Alright.
Friends,
True.
I've returned. I'm
Yes.
ready.
Good.
It's time
We've
to
wasted
commence
enough
with the
time already.
digital accordion.
I've marked the location of the data center on your map.
Alright. Am I correct in thinking we have spent this entire episode in this one location?
You'll have to go in and get the source code mostly on your own, but I'll load on some programs that'll give you an edge.
We have had a lot to get through.
We'll do our best, Tomcat. But what happened to your accent?
Oh, don't you worry about that. It comes and goes like a vagabond kitty.
There are cats who wander around taking all your coins while you sleep. Like a reverse tooth fairy. Except you don't even
Lots
get
of
the
code to
tooth
write,
back.
and you have a lot of data to download. Stay in touch.
Of course, Tomcat. Thank you again.
Thank you for
Don't worry about it,
creating...
Ruth. We've all been
the
hurt by
save
Parallax.
world
It's
button.
about time we heard them back. Good luck.
Alright. Now it's time to commence going, but we're gonna have to commence going next time, because we've been stuck in the room, so goodbye for now, and tune in next time for the fantastic... Like, we seem to be entering the end game, so it's sort of coming a little quicker than I expected, but there we go. So tune in for that. You've literally put RoboCop outside the building. That is incredible.